Hello, and welcome to episode 24 on May the 4th of the Holoron-Cast.
Rip headphone
users.
Rip
headphone users today. We are full of energy today, Dan. Why is that?
Because we just watched the Clone Wars finale.
Yes, and we're not sad and crying because it's over. We're just going to celebrate it today. I'm excited. How you feeling today? It's May the 4th.
Absolutely.
May the 4th be with you, Dan.
And also with you, my son. Dude, when I'm rendering this, I'm going to have to listen back to that intro and just hear the crackling.
Hear the crackling? Hell yeah, man.
We're normally notoriously low energy.
Yeah,
so
notorious.
And
plus, I need to wake myself up. It's early in the morning for us. We never record this early. I didn't sleep great last night, but I didn't sleep bad either. I'm not, tired. But
you slept like my normal amount.
Yeah, but
boy.
Clone Wars. Finale. Victory and death.
The third finale.
As if you've watched our episode of the third finale.
Because they had the original finale when they got canceled, and then they had the Netflix one, yeah. And now this one.
I never thought of it like that. That's
James
great.
was saying he was explaining that to his dad one time, and I can't think about it.
But this is the true finale.
Yeah, this is the real finale.
We're here. This episode, I don't know how much it's going to be like the last one where we just go through the two episodes, but we're going to be mainly talking about the last two episodes of Clone Wars.
Yes. Mainly
the finale, Victory and Death. How you feeling after just watching? This is the first episode we've watched together of anything since, I think, Mandalorian episode 3.
I think so, yeah. Just because they feel the need to release things on days that you work.
Yes. It's been a while.
Yeah, it's been a minute.
And plus the Rona, we're still in the Rona, so
yeah, we're still in quarantine. But
see, I got masks right here.
I have one.
Look at all those masks. Those were $40 on Amazon.
Nice.
Got 50 of them.
I have one in my room for the one time a year I leave my house.
Right. So, yeah, man.
It was a very, very bittersweet ending.
Right. Yeah, we're just gonna jump into the finale.
Yeah,
we'll talk about
because I can't hold it.
Yeah, it's very bittersweet because it's over. We know where these characters end up for the most part.
Yeah,
and you still are so sad that it's over. Going the journey.
It's also still really fucking tense,
right?
Like,
it's so tense. I don't
halfway through the action sequences, I was like, wait, why am I worried about Ahsoka? I know she survives.
Why am I worried about Rex? I know he's in Rebels.
I know they're there. On? Why am I concerned?
Yeah, it was just. I think one of the things that helped that the most was how freaking cinematic this arc was, and this episode in particular.
This episode was extremely cinematic.
The score, the fucking so good.
Phenomenal.
Phenomenal.
The main word to describe it is phenomenal.
Yes. Dave Filoni.
So tense. So yeah, we're going to jump right into the finale.
Yes.
Probably not quite as structured. We're just going to most likely jump from topic to topic.
What we feel. So let's talk about Maul just in general. The last two episodes. He went ham.
He went fucking insane.
Fucking ape shit, man.
The Mallway scene, as it's colloquially
That's what they're calling
termed.
it, the Mallway?
That's what James told me.
No.
I don't know if that's what people online are calling it, but
that works
I hope
for
that's
me.
what it's called.
The Mallway, that works for me. Yeah.
Was one of the most brutal sequences.
Right. I love how...
What is it with Star Wars villains and their hallways?
Right. The thing that made it interesting, too, is he didn't have a lightsaber.
Yeah.
That was the best part about it all. He didn't have his saber.
Because Ahsoka didn't give him one.
Yeah. So, he loses his lightsaber. Or they take it away from him. How does he get it back?
Well, he has a double blade in Rebels.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, he did have a double blade.
And in Solo.
In the previous episode, didn't he?
Yeah.
When he was fighting Ahsoka? Yeah. Well,
you think he makes another one? Are they all different, or is it the same one?
The one he has in Rebels and also in Solo, thanks to Sam Witwer, is, it looks like it has an Inquisitor piece on it. So he probably just built it.
Or steals it.
Because we know, knowing Maul, he probably killed someone and scavenged it.
Mm-hmm.
Because we know in Rebels he's being hunted by an Inquisitor.
Yeah.
He's probably been hunted before.
Yeah, that's fair, yeah.
Assumedly, or he went out of his way to find one just to get a saber.
Yeah.
I want to know how he got the dark saber back. Well, I guess he didn't have it on Mandalore.
No. So wait, when did he has it in Rebels, right?
He has it in Rebels. It's on Dathomir. He didn't have it when he was fighting Ahsoka, because that was after he got captured by Palpatine.
Yeah.
Because he had it when he fought Palpatine. Where did it go? It's probably still on
Moff Gideon?
It's...
No, it's too late for him to have it.
Because also Maul gets it back.
Yeah.
Maybe
he just hasn't... Maybe that's what he has it somewhere, like maybe it's on Dathomir still?
Or either that, or it's on Mandalore and he goes and takes it again?
Maybe, yeah.
Maybe it's
probably like
maybe in the Son of Dathomir they explain it, because I think he has it in there.
Yeah, but probably with the chaos that's happening, that's probably how he's able to get a normal lightsaber again. But like, why would you want a normal lightsaber and give a dark saber?
Because he's better with double than he is with single.
Yeah, it's true. Obviously, he don't need anything from that hallway scene.
Yeah, clearly all he needs is a couple of panels to chop some clone boys in half.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And he cut that dude's arm off with the blast door.
God! It's funny seeing a lot of like mirroring things from like what Dave Filoni does in Mandalorian and what has happened in Star Wars recently. Like a scene in this episode too, where she tries to pull the as Maul's getting away, she's trying to pull the ship.
The shuttle, yeah.
The shuttle, like Rey does in Episode 9. I'm just going to assume that Dave Filoni has all the good ideas in Episode 9 were Dave Filoni's, you know.
Well, so because that's not a super uncommon thing. It just was never really shown in canon.
Yeah.
People trying to force pull ships.
Yeah, it wasn't shown a lot.
It wasn't really shown a lot in canon, but it was a fairly common thing in like games and shit.
Yeah.
Like in Force Unleashed, you can stop TIE fighters
just by pulling them and throwing them at other TIE fighters.
Well, you'll slow them down. You can't like fully grab them because they're still flying, but you can slow them enough that they'll like blow up because they're so shittily made.
Unless Poe's flying, of course. He's the best pilot in the galaxy.
Well, that's also a First Order TIE fighter. Imperial TIE fighters are even shittier.
Yeah.
They literally don't have shields.
They don't.
All the action sequences in these last whole season
yes,
have just been phenomenal.
So good.
And no different here.
Yeah. Maul, at the beginning of this episode, we'll just jump into this episode even more. Maul, wrecking shit again, he destroys the hyperdrive.
Also, the way he enters that room is so awesome. Like, I like that he uses the move that Dooku always used, where he makes someone shoot their friends.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, I love... Just...
Also, god damn, taking down both of those hyperdrive cores. Jesus.
The music made everything in this episode so much more heightened too. Like when that was happening, and you felt on edge this whole episode, and it was just
despite knowing that every main character survives.
Right. Oh man.
Imagine in a world where, like, say this happened before Rebels, how tense this episode would be.
Right. And imagine, like, just you take Rebels now, and you take this now, like, if Rebels came out how it did after this, you'd be like, oh, Rebels sucks.
Right. Well, that was a big reason why so many hardcore Clone Wars fans hated Rebels, because it like Clone Wars, it took a bit to finally ramp up.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
It wasn't until the end of Season 2 where people came around on it.
Right. Yeah.
It wasn't until Ahsoka showed back up, really. The key to everything.
The key to everything. Some may say Ahsoka is the best Star Wars character in existence.
Also, I love the way that she was holding her lightsabers with the Force to cut the hole twice as fast.
Right.
Just spinning them around.
They did so good with all her action sequences in this final arc, and, like, using her to, like the cool Force abilities like that. The whole, her trying to fight the clones and shit, too. Like, every move, like, it's nice, smooth, beautiful.
Very. It flows.
It flows so well.
It's like poetry. It rhymes, as Lucas likes to say.
It rhymes. It's poetry. But yeah, seeing Order 66 happen from a different point of view, that's one of the best parts of this arc, easily, because we knew Rex survived, right? Mm-hmm. But, like, I just assumed it didn't work when it happened, like, but
Like it didn't affect
Like it just
him.
didn't affect him. Something happened, but because we knew it didn't affect him, but
Yeah.
we didn't know Ahsoka's the reason why.
And we know in Rebels he does say he removed his chip.
Yeah. Oh,
So we know that because he has the scar on his head in Rebels.
Yeah.
From the surgery. So you could almost assume, oh, he probably already had it removed before that.
Right.
But no.
No, it was... And that was such... We're jumping around in these two
We're
episodes
jumping between
a lot.
both of these could but they kind of blend together.
Yeah, this whole arc could barely one episode, one little movie.
Yeah, but you could kind of separate it between two segments with Mandalore and then on the Venator.
Yeah.
And these last two episodes are both on the Venator, so we're kind of blending them a bit.
The Venator. Yes. I forgot.
Rex had enough willpower to resist it for a little bit,
right? Because it was such a beautiful moment. He was about to, you could tell he knew what was happening, but he's like, I can't control this. But he's like, fives, and then he starts to shoot, and you see tears coming down his eyes, and it's just heartbreaking.
Yeah,
and you're like, oh, it must be harder for Rex than anybody.
Yeah,
considering his brothers are going down, and
also considering that him especially always seemed to be way more like emotionally impacted when his brothers died.
Yeah,
like in the Bad Batch arc.
Yeah, it goes back to him like being very like, if there's a chance he's alive, we gotta.
He's super connected to his brothers, so it's just like a traumatic experience. No wonder he kind of becomes a hermit by the time Rebels comes around.
Right, like he has that line in episode 3 where he's talking to Ahsoka. Ahsoka's talking about how the Jedi were supposed to be peacekeepers or whatever, and all they are soldiers, and he's like, us clones have mixed feelings about the war, and he's like,
we wouldn't exist
without it, but also it's not,
it's hell,
and it's which
is true.
It's
like, how do you feel about, like, you know, if something tragic is the reason that you came to be,
right? Yeah,
it's kind of difficult to just immediately be like, oh, I wish this never happened, because it's just saying, oh, I wish I was never born.
Yeah, and then to learn eventually that you literally, like, you actually never had control of your life.
Yeah,
because of the chips in your head,
and you're literally just trash to be thrown aside.
I've always had the clones to me have never been super appealing as
a faction,
or as like a, but like, especially this season of Clone Wars and Rex in particular has made me really fall in love with clones in a way I never have. Like, Stormtroopers are cool, like, but fuck Stormtroopers. Like, I've never cared about them, but like the clones are much more.
Us care.
The Clone Wars made clones interesting, and like the idea of like the army of like a bunch of faceless people more interesting, even though they all have the same face, and like they're all different people though.
But that's what makes it even more interesting, is that they literally are all exactly the same in terms of genetic makeup.
Yeah.
And I think what really helped make the clones more interesting for me personally, what made me love the clones a lot, was the Umbara arc with Pong Krell.
He's the one with the 4 lightsabers.
Yeah, or with the 2 double blades, and he made all the clones shoot each other.
Yeah.
That arc really was like, holy shit.
Yeah.
And then, of course, you have a bunch of the earlier episodes, like not the Bad Batch, the Domino Squad.
Yeah. Clones are pretty cool.
Yeah, it's funny.
Way better than Stormtroopers and First Order Stormtroopers.
Easily, yeah. But it's just funny because in the movies, they're just there.
Yeah. So, yeah, because you really... that's the best part of Clone Wars. You took an era and a story we kind of knew, introduced Ahsoka, made us fall in love with this character, but also just gave us, like, a look into their life.
Yeah.
A different look into, like, the life of a Jedi and the life of the clones and the life of what they're going through during the Clone Wars.
And just giving us more of a reason to actually give a shit.
Right.
By giving us actual characters. Mm-hmm. Because in the movies, they're like stormtroopers, or like generic rebels, or, you know, they're just there. None of them really talk. And as far as, like, I believe it was in Legends, Order 66 was like a willing thing that they did.
In Legends, they wanted to do Order 66?
Well, it wasn't like that they wanted to. It was more that because Clone Wars hadn't existed yet. I think it's the story of, like, the PS2 Battlefront 2. It's, like, the story of Order 66.
Oh, okay.
And from what I understand, I could be wrong. It's been a very long time. But I believe it was kind of like they all sort of knew it was going to happen.
Okay.
Like, it wasn't like they had chips.
Was this before the prequels, or no?
No, this was this was before Clone Wars, because Clone Wars was 2008.
So before they contextualized the clones and stuff.
Yes, before the clones had like much of a story. That was their like original story. Was they kind of like, I believe it's that they kind of all knew.
But, like, it was, like Ray says, it was always inside of me.
Yeah.
It's awake now, but it's just awake now, yeah.
I don't remember exactly how it went, but I like this version a lot better.
Oh, for sure.
Because it makes them a lot better, like, it makes more sense, like, how they were so close friends with the Jedi.
Right.
It even makes it more sense as to how none of the Jedi suspected it, because the clones are legitimately caring for them.
Yeah. Oh, man. Fucking clones, man. Who ever thought I would like clones?
And then it really kind of, a lot of this kind of reminds me of the Order 66 scene in Fallen Order, in a way.
Right.
Like all the clones are being so nice to Cal.
Yeah. I would have been really cool if we got to see, like, Order 66 from a bunch of different point of views in this, but also, all we really needed was Ahsoka's view.
Yeah.
Because it's cool seeing her version and Maul's version, like, when everything was going on. I'm surprised we didn't get, well, I was like, we really didn't get any, like, a flash, like, anything else. It was just us, them, on the Venator, and we get a little cool tidbit at the end that we'll get to eventually.
Yeah.
But, yeah.
It was more just completely focused on Rex and Ahsoka.
Yeah. I really appreciate it, like, right, because it literally jumps in right where you leave off the last episode. She just takes Rex's thing out of her head. He's healing, the door's about to come down. And it's really cool that she force pushes it right as it's about to come down. She's like, fuck you guys.
And he's back to himself.
I love how, before they even discussed it, because we eventually get to a scene where they're trying to escape this fucking Venator because Maul fucking...
Because Maul
he just destroyed the hyperdrive while they were in hyperspace.
Yeah.
And they're just going down. And then once they get out of hyperspace, they're going down. And they're trying to get out, but then there's an army of clones there. But before they even discuss it with Ahsoka, he's like, I can't... I noticed he's like, I'm like, he's stunning them right away.
Yeah.
But then they talk about it, she's like... And then they have the conversation, like, I don't want to kill these guys.
Yeah.
But actually, Rex is the one more likely. He's like, we got to kill these people
because he's felt what they're feeling.
Yeah,
like they're ready to just fucking die to kill them.
Were you surprised at all that Ahsoka wasn't willing to kill the?
No, I think that's very in character for her.
Yeah, it would have been interesting if she did.
It would have been interesting, but I wouldn't see it with the clones.
Yeah, for a moment I thought,
especially the ones who volunteered to join her
with her helmet on and everything. Yeah. And like after that episode 2 scene or whatever, where they're all
yeah. Especially after that, 100% get it.
Because for a moment there, I'm like, Maul, Ahsoka team up just to take these fuckers.
That's
down.
what I thought was going to happen.
But
I thought it was going to be like when they were standing in that room and they couldn't come up with a plan to get out. I thought Maul was going to show up.
Yeah. One thing I found a little weird was, like, I don't want to fight these guys, but then her plan is just, like, drop half of them down. Obviously not kill them, but then you're still going to have to kind of fight them, but in the most defensive way possible.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's just that they didn't directly want to personally kill them.
Yeah. Even though I'm sure she did, some of them.
Oh, yeah.
Because, like, deflecting the bolts back at them and stuff like that.
Well, I'm sure she was intentionally missing deflections, but I'm sure some of them died from the fall.
Yeah.
Somebody landed on their head.
Yeah, you want to know who the real heroes of this whole episode are? The fallen heroes?
Them
3 droids. Because they did a lot, and they all got fucked.
Yeah, they just got fucking firing squatted.
Yeah, they got firing squatted after...
Like, goddamn.
Oh, it was so sad. I'm like, I don't even like droids. Well, actually, I do like droids a lot, but, like, these nameless droids we've never heard of, I'm like, they're dying.
I liked Cheaper, or whatever his name was, because he's just voiced by Filoni. So he just sounds like Chopper.
That's funny.
And he has the same, like, Chopper claw.
Yeah, okay, yeah. I didn't realize it was voiced by Filoni.
I didn't notice it at first. James told me, and then in this episode I heard it.
Ah, okay, that's cool.
Because it's kind of like similar to Chopper's tone, just not as deep.
Okay.
Because he's cheap. He's cheap.
He's cheap Chopper.
He's cheap Chopper.
He's a cheap version. But yeah, so they have this awesome battle.
Yeah.
Against, I wouldn't really call it a battle, but
it's
a fight. They're trying to get out of the ship.
It's a fight where only one side is fighting with lethal intent.
Right. There's fighting. Ahsoka's doing all those cool moves, like you mentioned, the one where she opens the floor up to drop down.
Yeah.
And then it gets to the point where they're like, fuck, they're taking shots. Ahsoka got shot a few times, Rex got shot a few times. And then, on top of it all, Maul is here to steal their ship from them.
Maul just runs for the ship. I love how he keeps talking about chaos.
Right.
Like, you wanted this chaos.
Right.
Well, he's hucking boxes at her.
Like, and then, but to be fair, she let him out, so...
Exactly.
She wanted it, which sucks.
She wanted this chaos. He's right.
And, like, and then they're fighting, and then Maul gets in the ship, and then... like I said earlier, she tries to stop it, but Maul gets away. Yeah. I was surprised by that, actually.
She lets him go because Rex would have died.
Yeah. But he was holding him back. He can only hold back so many.
He can only hold back so many clones.
The Force helps a lot, so she needed to be there. But yeah, I was surprised that... I thought they might have escaped together, but...
That's what I thought.
You gotta leave us on edge.
Yeah. Like, I thought it was going to be that Rex and Ahsoka got to the shuttle and Maul would have just jumped on. And since they're more compassionate, they would have been like, alright, you can just fucking stay here.
Right.
We'll drop you off on Dathomir, but I don't ever want to see you again, sort of thing. Mm-hmm. But no, he just took the shuttle and yeeted out of there.
Got out of... Where did Maul go? Where do you think he went?
Dathomir.
Or wherever the fuck his Darksaber is, because he needs a weapon, right? Or he's hiding it, or...
It has to be Dathomir, because that's where he's hiding. Like, in Solo, he's on Dathomir.
Yeah,
and that's where his little hut is, in the witch cave.
Are we just assuming he's hiding for most of the... between now and Rebels?
I would assume, yeah, until something happens and he leaves Dathomir.
And he's just running the crime syndicate from the shadows.
Yeah, and then at some point he leaves Dathomir to go to Malachor, I think is the planet that they were on in Rebels, where they found him.
Okay.
But I would believe that he's just on Dathomir like that whole time, except for maybe...
He's probably doing
maybe he leaves once or twice to go kill some rival crime lords or something.
Right.
But...
He's like, fucking Memphis Nest, man. She's on my tail.
Because also he knows Sidious can find him.
Right, yeah.
So I'm sure he's just hiding.
Yeah. Because they're hunting for him, you said, right?
I believe... I mean, in Rebels, the eighth brother or whatever his name is, the one that we never see his face, he says specifically he's there hunting the Shadow, who's Maul.
Uh-huh.
So assumedly Palpatine just didn't let it go and just kept sending Inquisitors after Maul.
Mm-hmm. Oh, man. This is such a good episode.
Yeah.
Like...
I love the scene when the doors finally open and just the army of clone troopers come running out.
You're like, oh, this shouldn't be that bad. They might get out here. But we see a planet. What planet is that?
We don't know.
I want to know.
Well, they said it was a moon.
A moon. The forest moon of Yavin.
No.
I know. Wait, the forest moon of Yavin. The forest moon of Endor.
I mean, technically Yavin 4 is the forest moon of Yavin.
That's fair.
I guess it's more of a jungle.
Yeah. Yeah, just...
It's just a random planet. I don't think it holds any significance.
Yeah. Yeah, who knows?
Because it's, like, sandy almost. I don't know what it is. Like, it's more brownish or tannish when they land there, but then at the end of the episode we see it's, like, snowy.
Yeah.
Or salty.
Crate? No.
I don't know.
I don't know, man.
I think it's just
a little Google search before the end of the podcast.
I saw people when right after the episode when we first went and just looked on the internet to see what people were thinking. I saw some people saying that it's just a random planet.
Okay, that's fair. Because at first I'm like, first immediate thought when I saw Graham, like Tatooine? No, not Tatooine, probably not. And then I'm like, okay, what is this? How could this tie in? How could this be? Then I saw Marcian. I'm like, Jakku?
When they first came out...
And then at the end, I'm like, Hoth?
It looked like it was 2 moons and a planet, I thought I saw. So at first I was just immediately like, oh, Tatooine, because it's 2 moons and a planet. Mm-hmm. I don't even know if there were 2 moons. It just looked like I could be completely wrong.
Yeah.
But then when it looked like it was more of like a deserted moon, I was like, oh, is this the planet that Rex is on in Rebels? Like just the empty planet that they're on.
That's a sandy planet, right?
It's a salt flat, I think.
Yeah.
But then again, why would he return there? I guess the Empire's already searched there.
I find it like super interesting too that I still feel like there could be a story be told. Like, you know how we want to know where Ahsoka is, like between 6 and like after 6. Like, there's still stuff like what will her and Rex really do after this? Until we see them in Rebels. We know what Ahsoka does with the book, kind of. She just
Yeah.
goes into hiding and does some stuff.
They separate.
But
I would have to assume Rex spent his time looking for other clones who didn't follow Order 66.
he's like what Finn should have been.
Yes.
Like, I'm gonna find my clone brothers and
I'm
get
going to
them back.
find my brothers.
Right.
And he only finds 2 of them. Presumably because Gregor had amnesia, so he had to have a head injury, and I'm guessing because Wolf has a cybernetic eye, so maybe something happened to his head.
Yeah. I wonder what happened to the Bad Batch. That's what I want to know.
Yeah, that I'm curious if they committed,
There could be, like, probably a cool story where they just fucking, like...
survived.
What if there's, like... What if they're all just, like, not purge troopers. What could be, but, like, or, like, fucking death troopers now.
Depending. It all depends on if their chips are active, since they're all mutated.
Yeah. I hope not, because I want to see them again.
Yeah. What if it's just like they're at the Battle of Jakku?
That'd be cool. What if one of them is Rey's dad?
Oh, man.
Oh, man.
So one of them's a failed clone of Palpatine?
Yes! He was trying it way back in the day.
It was Echo. He really got a glow up in between the Bad Batch and...
Right, yeah. But yeah. And then they're escaping. They get out, though.
Yes.
They jump on a little... They find a little, like...
A Y-Wing.
A little Y-Wing. I was going to say a doohingy.
A little Y-Wing there.
A little Y-Wing. And then...
And, well, Rex gets in. Ahsoka doesn't.
Yeah, she really... Not yet. And they're... So she's free-falling, which is... It's so cool, man.
And the ship is just spinning around like crazy as Rex is trying to gain control over it.
Right. Oh, man. It's so beautiful.
I love the detail that, like, when he goes to pick her up and she misses it and, like, falls off, she doesn't react, like, at all.
Yeah, I don't really...
She's so calm.
Yeah, that's very much Ahsoka. She's very cool and collected.
Like, it's like she grabs on, it's trying to grab for it, and then she just, like, gets spun away, and it's no reaction. She just lands on the next piece of rubble and runs.
Is it because she's, like I said, she's calm, cool, collected, and she's used to this? She's a seasoned, trained Jedi, or is it just because, like, she's just, like, she's just like, fuck, everything's fucked. I don't care anymore.
I think it's the former. I think it's that she's...
Like, she's not worried because she knows no matter what happens at the end, she'll be fucking alone.
I think it's more that she's zen.
Yeah.
You know, she's
very tuned in with the Force, which we learned in this episode.
She's been in war since she was 14.
Yeah.
13? I don't know how old she was at the beginning. I think 14.
That's, yeah.
You kind of got to zen out.
She's like a little child soldier, you know?
Yeah. Just like the clones. They're all like 10.
But yeah, I think it has to do with her being really in tune with the Force.
Yeah.
Because, like, a little going back to episode 3, when she finds Rex's chip, a little Chirrut moment. I'm one of the Force with me. She's very tapped into the Force and she trusts the Force very much.
Yes.
More than probably most people who leave the Jedi Order do. Like, for someone who left the Jedi Order, like, she really trusts and believes in the Force or whatever.
I think it's because she kind of left for different reasons.
Yeah.
She left because she saw how
She
hypocritical.
didn't leave because of the Force. She left because the faction of Force users who are fucking failures.
Fucking Windu.
Fuck Mace Windu.
Fuck Mace Windu.
Fuck Mace Windu.
I've always been aboard the fuck Mace Windu train because he's just an egotistical asshole who's just so dogmatic. He's exactly the problem that Palpatine had with the Jedi of how dogmatic they are.
He's
the way he's like, oh, this is a meeting for the council, citizen. Fuck you.
Fuck you. She's more of a Jedi than you ever be, son.
I love former Battlefront community manager made that tweet that you sent me.
That was him?
Yeah, that was the former community manager, Ben.
Yeah, I didn't know that. I just saw that tweet. I'm like, this is so true.
Ahsoka's twice the Jedi he'll ever be.
Right. If anything, the Clone Wars proved factually correct, and you can dispute this. It's opinion.
Yeah.
But
you can dispute it.
But you shouldn't. The best two Jedi, period, are Ahsoka and Kenobi. As Jedi.
Like, in terms of holding
to
the ideals of what a Jedi should be.
Yes. Not even close.
Absolutely. They're the most Jedi characters.
Yes. And
I would argue Last Jedi Luke by the end is pretty damn Jedi.
Yeah. But, like, I don't even see, like, and with Rey too, like, I don't even consider Rey a Jedi.
Rey, I don't consider Rey a Jedi either.
Which I don't want to make this a whole Jedi fucking suck thing. But we'll talk about this another time in depth. But like, we all know Ahsoka and Kano, like Ahsoka's journey and everything just shows how fucked the Jedi are, and plus what happens with Order 66 and Yoda's fucking thing. And obviously Mace Windu is a fucking moron.
Yeah,
he's an idiot. But like,
oh hey, one of the only people who might be able to sway Anakin to help us? Nah,
right? You can't talk. This is council business. Fuck you. But like, the Jedi are so fucking cocky and full of themselves, and so in a way
holier than thou.
In a way, they're fucking. What's the word I'm looking for?
I don't know.
They by the
high off their own fumes.
Yes, but like I don't feel like they actually care about anybody except themselves. Because by the end, think about it. They inhabit. This is my only Rise of Skywalker / Rey tangent.
Oh no!
But think about it. They inhabit Rey. They live in her now, right?
Uh-huh.
They use Rey to beat Palpatine. And where is Rey at the end of the story? Where she is at the beginning. Alone on an island. Or on Tatooine. No hope.
Well, counterpoint would be they can't just stay there forever.
What?
They can't just stay with her forever.
That's true, but they only used her for her needs. And then they're gone.
More like they were there in the time of need, but...
That's fair. But... Fuck the Jedi.
Yeah, I mean, that is literally the plot of the prequels. The Jedi suck.
Yes. And like I talked about in that one episode about Yoda, where I just ragged on Yoda the whole time, they still never done anything to recover from... They never redeemed themselves. Mm-mm. And hopefully one day we get a story where Rey redeems them.
And that's... Well, I hope it's just the Jedi are gone, personally, but... No sequel talk. This is Clone Wars time.
Clone Wars time. Well, the Jedi are inherently tied to Clone Wars.
Yes, but like that's why Ahsoka, by the time Rebels comes around, she's just fallen. I'm not a Jedi anymore. Just
right.
Like she's still kind of holding the Jedi ideals for now, but by the time Rebels comes around, it's like she's okay enacting vengeance and.
Yeah, it's always that idea though with the Jedi where they're inherently tied to lightsaber users. So like as pop culture and as tied to like just. Are the zeitgeist of the world we live in, it's going to be hard to scrap the term Jedi just from Star Wars.
Yes, but they should.
But it's also interesting to like go forward in a way where like there are like different factions of like Force users, like the Jedi, and just other ones. I don't know, but it's interesting.
Yeah,
I don't think they'll ever. I like the idea of there being like Jedi who are against the Jedi. You know what I mean? Like
that's why I just want the moniker to go away.
It will never go away. Because
one can't exist without the other, though.
What?
Sith can't exist without Jedi, and Jedi can't exist without Sith.
Yeah, but we're going Old Republic. We're falling full into the Jedi.
Well, that's with the Niles, though. The High Republic. Yeah. But that's different, because that's before.
Yeah.
I'm saying after. Yeah. They failed like 4 times in a row now. It's time for them to
fail.
It's time for them to go away!
That's the exciting part about the High Republic. I want to see the Jedi succeed, man.
That's true.
And then Yoda show up, and they can get fucked. But yeah, Clone Wars.
Yeah,
fucking this episode, and then let's get into the not a cliffhanger, but like Ahsoka eventually gets in the ship with Rex.
Yes,
and they land on this planet, and it's just the last few shots of this episode is beautiful, gorgeous, stunning,
and it's really sad.
Right? She puts all the clone helmets on sticks.
I think they were like messed up blasters or like
staffs. She made little staffs, like the episode of The Mandalorian where the stormtrooper helmets were on.
Spikes.
It's very like reminiscent of like war and like that kind of like for fallen brothers. Even though they tried to kill her, like
they buried everyone.
She still didn't want to kill them, and she's still showing respect for them because she knows who they really are.
Yeah,
and knows their
true personality.
She knows in a way, they're more than their worst mistake, in a way. Even though they have no control, but still. It's interesting. But yeah. It's just a beautiful shot. Ahsoka in her hood. Ahsoka in the hood.
With a blue cape
With a blue cape.
Then she leaves her lightsaber behind.
Which when that moment happened, I'm like, oh shit. At the end of everything, she still has her lightsaber. She could have took them, carried on, never had to do what she had to do to find her lightsabers and for her fulcrum sabers. But I feel like she was ready to put this part of her life behind her too.
Yeah.
And just I love she just dropped it. She didn't bury it. She didn't do anything. She just dropped it.
Yeah. Because
one of them. Where's the other one though?
I'd have to imagine she probably either lost it when they were getting shot at, or lost it when she fell out of the Venator.
Yeah.
It was the smaller one.
Or she gave it to Rex, just in case.
It's the bigger one that she dropped, so it's the smaller one that we don't know where it went.
Yeah. Yeah, the
I'm
small one.
I'm gonna guess it fell.
Let's assume just like
a clone boy.
A clone swallowed it.
Or a clone boy might have shot it out of her hand.
Yeah.
Because by the end, she was getting real exhausted. Because, I mean, blocking the 501st for that long.
Right. And then we get...
Lasted way longer than fucking Ki-Adi-Mundi did.
Right, I was thinking about that. I'm like, that's how you know she's one of the best, too. Like, she survived. Like, these things were coming down on her and trying to kill her. And she wasn't even trying to kill him. Like, Ki-Adi-Mundi, the moment those clones started attacking him, he's like, you're dying. Like, all the other Jedi, like, oh, you mess with me? Fucking you dead.
Except for Aayla Secura and Plo Koon.
Who just took it.
Who were so surprised that they just died.
Yeah.
And they were two of the more compassionate Jedi, so I guess that fits.
That makes sense, though.
Plo Koon was
one of Ahsoka's mentors.
Yeah, Plo Koon is a good boy. And he gets shot down in a starfighter.
So sad.
And Aayla gets shot before she even pulls out her lightsaber, which is how I feel like most of Order 66 probably went.
Right.
But Ki-Adi-Mundi is also the guy who ordered flamethrowers be used on sentient beings, so... he's already kind of a...
He's a suspect boy.
Maybe a little bit nuts.
Some may say a dickhead.
Some might say, that's not very Jedi to burn things alive. Yes, I know there were Geonosians and they didn't have a choice, but still, he's a Jedi.
For sure. But yeah, then we get a beautiful shot. It's sad, we're somber, bittersweet. And then it turns to snow. You're like, what's going on?
Yeah, what the fuck's happening?
And I'm like, what planet is this? Are they trying to tell us it's Hoth? And you shot up and you see snowtroopers.
And it's like, oh, fuck.
What's going on? Imperial probe droid.
Lots of them. But we see the Venator.
We're exactly where we were with Ahsoka. Heck, you still see them helmets there under the Venator. Like, and then you hear...
That's a good impression.
Was it? I don't know. Bad. You hear the breathing apparatus.
Yes. That's a little hard to mimic, to be fair.
And then Darth Vader.
Looking fucking dope as hell.
Dude, this animation is fucking the best thing that ever happened to Star Wars. Yeah. Like...
Beautiful. Beautiful.
Oh my god. Shout out to all the animators who worked on this show.
Right?
Just in general. Like...
No.
Like, it's like for real, like... It's so hard and takes so much time. Like...
Yeah.
Like...
Oh.
We appreciate
and especially seeing the growth from, like, the Clone Wars movie. I watched that the other day.
Right? Why?
Me and James watched it. We were watching all the side movies.
You're all weird.
We had to. It was the second time I've ever seen it.
That's fair. It was bad, wasn't it?
We talked through most of it.
See, it's bad. But
like, the animation style in the Clone Wars movie is so rigid and, like... It's like their body parts only move like one at a time. Like if their arm moves, nothing else will move.
Imagine that animation for the Maul Ahsoka fight.
Yeah, but like it's just so impressive to see. Like you can see the growth of both the technology and the animators themselves.
Right. They went from
from what looking like almost like a fan animation.
It's like it went from Roblox to this sexy shit, you know.
It went from Roblox to Knack. Am I right? Whoa! Oh, that's a big peak bar.
Oh man, fucking Clone Wars is sexy as fuck. But yeah,
and we
Vader.
Is this the first time in Clone Wars since the Mortis arc we've seen the bird?
I don't know.
The daughter
most
bird?
of my bird knowledge is from Rebels.
Yeah, because that's where we always see it.
Yeah,
I feel like we haven't seen the bird in Clone Wars until the very end.
Yeah, probably. We see Ahsoka's little daughter bird. Daughter bird. Her little... I forgot what they're called. I have one.
There's no canon mother.
I made sure I bought the Ahsoka one at Star Wars Celebration. I'm like, I gotta get the...
We're not going to talk too much about this. This is just a little side tangent. Did you know that in Legends there actually was a mother?
I'm sure there is, yeah.
She was the final villain, and that was where a lot of people said Legends became, like...
Stupid
because of how overpowered it was.
We want to keep on the side tangent for a minute. Sam Witwer's Twitch stream yesterday has people up in arms.
Why?
Because he said... The sequel trilogy doesn't feel like George's Star Wars.
I don't see what that's to get up in arms about, though.
And then he said he didn't feel like the director of episode 8 did his homework before making the movie.
Wow.
People were mad about that.
Yeah.
But he also, then he came, like he said, I feel the same way about most of Legends and the Old Republic, Knights of the Old Republic stuff.
Yeah.
But you could tell he's very tied into the Filoni. He's been with Filoni so long, he's very... To be fair, I don't think he's wrong necessarily, but, like... He doesn't say he doesn't like it, but he just doesn't feel like it was George's Star Wars. He's just,
which is true.
He just says he feels like it's like... But in a way, that's probably a good thing for the Star Wars universe. Like, you had George's Star Wars, you like the Skywalker saga, and then now they can go tell their own stories in the Star Wars universe.
Well,
like,
it all ties back to the main issue with the sequels in general. Why is it part of the Skywalker saga at all?
Yeah. I saw that on Twitter last night. People were mad.
Yeah.
Okay. But he does Battlefront streams. He got the Maul skin.
God damn.
I don't know if he farmed it or because he was trying to get him to give him to him because he's Maul.
Yeah, that's fair.
Yeah. But I think from what I understand, he might have farmed it. But I don't know how he probably had to play one of the modes where you can play as him and just kill troopers real easily. Because
well, it had to be in co-op, but the thing is you can't do it offline.
Yeah, but like you could do it in Supremacy co-op. And then be a Jedi and then bit him and kill people.
Co-op is probably the fastest way because you're fighting AI.
Yeah, that's true. But I was probably just going to say it because he probably didn't do Heroes versus Villains.
No one would do it in Heroes versus Villains.
I started to.
I still haven't played.
But yeah. Done with the side tangent. Vader.
Yeah, side tangent over.
Oh, we see the little birdie in the sky, and then we see Vader standing there. He picks up Ahsoka's lightsaber, which the coolest part was seeing Vader with a blue lightsaber. He's just holding a blue lightsaber.
We haven't seen that since the concept art for Episode 4. And or the mirror match Vader in the Revenge of the Sith video game.
He has a blue saber in that one?
If you're mirror matching, player 1 will have the red and player 2 will have blue, just so it's not confusing.
Yeah, it's fair. But the first time in canon, so that's cool.
Yeah, first time in canon we see him use a blue lightsaber.
He didn't use it.
Well, you know what I mean.
It's just the aesthetic's so different.
It is. It's very different.
So I don't remember exactly. Does he keep the saber?
Yeah, I'm pretty sure, yeah. He walks away with it.
So we gotta assume, and then there's not like a lot goes on here. Like you kind of get a look at his eyes.
It's 100% silent.
And the assumption is he just assumes Ahsoka died.
Yes, that's what I would believe because otherwise, why wouldn't he be looking for her?
Yeah,
because I don't.
But also, does it pee so early on? Do you think he wants to look for her?
I would almost argue that because it's so early on, he would be more likely to look for her.
But he's
to find one of his true friends. He wants to kill Kenobi, but I could see him because he wants Ahsoka to join him.
Yeah, does she want him to join him in Rebels?
Yeah, he offers.
Okay, yeah.
It's like one of the few times where Vader actually speaks to an opponent and is like, "We don't have to fight." Yeah. Because normally Vader's ready to fight.
But I feel like
against Ahsoka, he says, "We don't need to be adversaries.
Yeah,
we can work together." And that's, later on. So I feel like when it's this fresh, he's especially he just needs a friend.
But also he doesn't want to hurt her.
Yeah, but in his mind, he probably thinks he can turn her.
I don't know about this early, but actually we don't know how long it's been either.
Yeah, because the lightsaber did look a little older.
Well, it's covered in snow.
And it's also
different season, obviously, on the planet.
And it's also when they have Imperial shuttles and probe droids and Imperial-ass armor. Yeah. Because there is a short phase immediately following Revenge of the Sith where they still are using Republic stuff.
Yeah, and clones and everything, right?
They have Stormtrooper armor. Some of them are clones still, but they're still using V-Wings, and Vader still is using his Anakin Starfighter. And I'm sure they probably still had Republic shuttles instead of the Lambdas. So
it's probably been a good while.
Yeah.
Do you think maybe his search for her led him here?
I would think so,
And then he is probably realizing she's gone.
Yeah.
And maybe it's probably, in a way, it's probably easier for them to both just imagine they're both gone.
Yes, absolutely.
Which is sad, but the Clone Wars just makes Anakin more heartbreaking.
Yeah. But I also feel like Vader was always really kind of looking for someone to help him kill Palpatine.
Right. Yeah. Wouldn't it be cool if Ahsoka showed up in episode 6?
Oh man, that would be awesome.
Right. Yeah.
No, we know where she was in episode 6. Still on Malachor.
Fucking Anakin, man.
And then you just have the shot of looking into the orange clone helmet with the Ahsoka paint and seeing Vader walk away in the visor.
In a shadow, yeah.
And then it ends.
And then it says George Lucas. You're like, whoa.
That entire, like, once the Venator crashes, there's not a single line of dialogue, is there?
No, I don't think so. Unless Rex says something while they're there, but I don't think
he did.
Yeah. Dave Filoni's really good at that, like that final
the last
sequence.
Yeah.
Yeah, when that was Clone Wars.
Whereas Rebels had a very, like, hopeful ending.
Right, yeah, very hopeful.
This had a very bittersweet.
Mm-hmm. It had to, though.
Yeah, it's tragedy. That's the whole thing.
I feel like
you can't exactly have a hopeful ending when the Empire is still around.
Right. If this season of Clone Wars, especially this final arc, has taught us anything, I think Star Wars is meant for television.
Yeah.
Star Wars television is my favorite Star Wars for the most part.
Yeah.
It's so much better to tell stories, and
it's a lot better to develop characters as well.
Yeah. Like, I think they realize that too. That's why we're not getting another movie for so long.
True.
And there's so many rumored shows in the works.
And also the shows tend to hit a lot better.
Yeah.
With the fans.
As long as Filoni's involved.
Which just goes to show that I feel like it's not a very uncommon opinion that Star Wars is really meant for television.
Mm-hmm. Oh, it's nice to go to the theater and see Star Wars, but like,
it doesn't.
We ain't gonna be doing that for a while. Corona.
Yeah, that, and also like, of course we're still gonna have movies, but like, I think the priority focus should probably be on TV. Because also they need to sell Disney Plus anyway,
right? And hopefully we get to a point where everything's like so intertwined that, but they have to realize now, people love the shows and connecting. That's what Dave Filoni does so well in all this stuff. Like even the, I don't know, man, it's just so good.
Connect everything, god damn it! Just do it in a way I think one of the good examples is in Solo, like when you see Maul there. Mm-hmm. They don't explain Maul being there at all, but it doesn't like ruin your enjoyment of the movie if you didn't know he was in it. It if anything gets you
if you didn't know he was alive.
Yeah, it gets you more interested in looking into the extended stuff. I don't know why they don't realize that if they just connect things, they would sell more.
Right.
Like, oh, what was Maul doing?
Like
and they Google
too.
it. You know, they look it up and then they find, oh, look, he was in all of these Clone Wars episodes.
Let's watch Clone Wars.
Let's watch those episodes. And then they watch those episodes and they're like, oh, this show's great. And then they keep watching.
Right. Like, yeah, it's. I think they've learned
that, and it's also just so.
Bob Iger's coming back with a passion. He's going to save Star Wars.
That, and it's just so much more rewarding for like us hardcore fans when we see connecting stuff and just immediately recognize it.
Yeah, and then that's the beautiful part about the Mandalorian: new story, new things, but there's like little things that connect it and keep us engaged. And unlike the sequel trilogy, where I love it, I love the sequels to death. Like I talk a lot of shit about Episode 9, and like. I love the sequels to death. You don't understand. But, like, all they do is hit you over the head. It's like, they take a baseball bat and they're like, Original trilogy! Nostalgia! Fucking Luke Skywalker! Princess Leia!
Yeah.
They just beat you over the head with it.
Yeah.
That's the problem with all the films. They're so worried about being tied to...
Like I said...
That's why Clone Wars and Dave Filoni and this TV stuff...
Not even 10 minutes ago, like I said, the biggest problem with the sequels is that it's part of the Skywalker saga.
Yes.
If you cut out all of that and still have it connect, but more tangentially, instead of beating us over the head with it...
Yeah.
Instead of trying to just redo the original trilogy with the exact same kind of plot outline.
Yeah.
Just put Filoni in charge of writing.
All right.
Period.
Now here's a real question, Dan.
Filoni and his team.
I want to be on Filoni's team.
Filoni and his boys, put them in charge of everything.
How much involvement did George Lucas have in this final season? Highly speculatory here. But I did see something recently where him and Filoni sat down and talked about Clone Wars. Because this is still George's vision at the end of the day.
Yes.
You gotta assume he was talking to George Lucas a lot, at the minimum.
Yeah. I honestly would have no estimate. I have no idea how much involvement he would have.
I assume he's pretty involved. Not like he's not there in the studio. He's not.
I would believe, yeah, he was pretty damn involved.
I bet him and Filoni got on them Zoom calls every night and they're like, let's fucking talk about,
getting in them Zoom calls, boy.
Right. But yeah,
getting lit in the Zoom.
Getting Liddy in the. I was gonna say getting Liddy in the titty, but that
getting Liddy up in that titty, my boy.
But yeah, Clone Wars is over, Dan. How you feeling?
Bittersweet.
Yeah.
I'm so glad we finally got a proper ending at long last, but it's also just so sad to see probably my favorite part of Star Wars be over.
Right. Well, let's hope all those rumors about another animated series coming out are true.
Yes. That's what they need to do. Have the two branches of Star Wars shows. Have like Mando and all the live action stuff, and then have the Dave Filoni animated.
But Dave Filoni's in Mandalorian too, so just Dave Filoni everything.
Just Dave Filoni, yes. Like I said, Dave Filoni's boys, period.
Hell yeah.
In charge of all of Star Wars.
Dave Filoni getting it.
And when they, I had this discussion the other day, when they do, movies, I think we've talked about it on the podcast before, just have, Filoni and his boys write it, and then just get a good director who doesn't really care about Star Wars.
Yeah. That's actually a good idea.
Just get a person that makes a good movie and make sure it's written by people who actually are super in the lore.
Yeah. Like
Filoni and his boys.
Oh, man. It's so sad. But it's May the 4th. It's a good day. Star Wars. We saw the Mandalorian show, the behind-the-scenes show. We haven't watched that yet. We'll talk about that in another podcast sometime. We're going to watch that in a bit here, probably while we eat.
We just figured this was Clone Wars time.
Yeah. So... what was I gonna... I'm gonna bring up my notes. I haven't looked at my notes once. See if there's anything we missed. Anything you want to talk about still?
I don't remember if I mentioned it earlier, but the scene when Ahsoka takes off Rex's helmet and he's just crying. They would have to kill his brothers, and he's oh.
That was such a...
Oh, it's so sad.
I need a Relic 7 him.
I was like, oh.
Right? Because he's... Oh, man.
No one's in more pain than him at that moment.
Rex is the best clone, right?
Yeah.
Okay, that's what I thought.
That is almost inarguable. I mean, people can argue it if they want, but Rex has the most development.
We'll probably see a comment about Domino Squad somewhere.
I mean, they're also really good.
Oh no, they are. Yeah.
As are the Bad Batch.
I fucking love the Bad Batch, man.
There's a fair enough, and then in the Umbara arc, you have a couple clones who get some development. I mean, largely Fives, who was part of Domino Squad, but...
Okay, I have a few fun little tidbits.
Yes.
Nothing really to have a deep discussion on, but episode 3 stuff. Ursa Wren, baby.
Yeah, seeing Ursa Wren.
Sabine's mom was there at Bo-Katan for a moment. She didn't say anything, she was just there.
Yeah, she didn't.
That was cool.
It was cool just to see her.
Yeah, big shout out to Ursa Wren. And then probably the coolest Easter egg, I saw this online. Anakin's passcode.
Yeah, I saw that
8108, the day Clone Wars premiered.
Yep.
The movie, right?
I believe so, yeah.
That's cool.
8/10/2008.
Nice little Easter egg.
Or is it 8/1/2008?
I think it's 8108. Yeah. Okay. August 1st. Or is that August? I don't fucking know. I think it's August. Yeah. But yeah. Yeah, that's those little...
I like the little coffin thing they had Maul in.
Yes, his little, death box. Or, it was so cool looking, the Mandalorian box.
How it's, outlawed.
Right. Yeah, because he had... but then Bo-Katan has a line where she's like... Or she's talking about how her sister outlawed him. This was the last one.
God.
So cool.
That thing looked metal as fuck.
It looked like a cool... What are those things called?
Coffin?
Yes, but, it looks like one of the carbonite things.
Oh, yeah, the carbonite slabs. Only you can see him just pissed inside. Right. Back from the ye olden Mandalorian Jedi War, which I want a show about that. The Mando Jedi War.
I want only Mandalorians, and I want all the Mandalorian content.
Also, hopefully, hopefully we get to see the Night of 1,000 Tears in Mando season 2.
But one of them was Rex's. No.
What? I don't know. One of the tears is Rex's.
I'm glad Rex survived, though.
Yeah. And he fought in the Battle of Endor. He's in Return of the Jedi, technically.
Technically, yes. That's why he has a beard.
Only because they were like, hey, that guy looks old. That's Rex now.
He got fat though, you know. He became a thick boy in Rebels.
Yeah, in Rebels, the Clone Wars were fucking kind of little thick boys.
They had bigger. It's just because his chin's so like his face is so small.
Also, they're like burly in Rebels too, though. Like they're not like fat; they're just like thicker.
Yeah,
they gained.
I also think it's just the animation style has a lot to do with it.
He has a very powerful build, like
powerful thighs,
like a 1950s boxer.
Yeah,
but they crack a few jokes about that in Rebels, like he tries to fit into stormtrooper armor.
Oh
like,
yeah.
Oh, I thought I lost some weight.
Yeah.
And as far as we know, he probably dies a peaceful life after Return. After Return of the Jedi, I mean. He probably doesn't live much longer after that.
Do you think he's Jason's grandpa?
He's probably like what's the word?
Or uncle?
Yeah, like kind of like the crazy uncle almost.
No, that's the other clone.
Sure, but he died.
No, he never met Jason.
Gregor died in the finale of Rebels.
Yes, that's true.
That's why he fit so well into the Phoenix family dynamic, where he was the
crazy uncle,
the crazy grandpa / uncle that clashed with the husband. Their relationship in Rebels, since I rewatched that recently, is just so good.
Who, him and Kanan?
Him and Kanan, yeah. Like they get into constant like dick measuring contests, and like anytime Kanan does something cool, Rex always is like, not as cool as Skywalker.
Right, yeah.
It's just funny. And then they eventually
I don't remember, does he have any, like, begrudgings towards Jedi in this app post? Is that why him and Kanan are so...
He's clashing with Kanan because Kanan's being low-key a little racist.
Against clones?
Yeah, because obviously Kanan has very traumatic experiences
with clones. Yeah. They probably... Yeah, because they're a weird relationship. And then, of course...
And they're clashing because Rex is basically like... Listen, I understand where you're coming from, but # not all clones.
Yeah.
And so they eventually start to get along.
Right.
So Rex is really, it's not that he has like a grudge against Jedi, it's more that he's just clapping back against Kanan, who's being low-key racist.
Right.
But clones are their own race, right?
I don't know how.
They're big enough to be
their own species in Star Wars. Their own race, yeah.
Oh yeah, I think if you look on Wikipedia, if you look in the species section, like for each character, I think it lists clone as its own. Yeah. Like it doesn't say human; it just says clone.
Human, clone, Trandoshan, they're all the same.
Trandoshan, Twi'lek,
Togruta,
which is
Tortuga.
Soki. Also, I thought when they mentioned Shaak Ti, we were finally going to get a canon version of Shaak Ti's death.
No, we don't care about that.
There's like 7 versions of it.
Remember when we thought we were going to see cool stuff with Kanan?
Remember when we...
Even though he's just in that one little shot. It's cool, but... Nice little Easter egg, but...
Yeah, that's what it is. It's a cool little Easter egg.
Yeah. But yeah.
And really, it's only recognizable as Kanan because his master's right next to him. Like, I would not have known that's Kanan if it wasn't for his master being there.
Be like, oh, is that one the young Anakin kills?
That's what I would have thought. But yeah.
Where are we at, Dan? How are we feeling?
58.
58? Now, here's the real question. One of the final questions.
Yes.
Is this the best arc of Clone Wars?
Yes.
Yes?
Yes. Just yes.
Yes.
Because
it has to be.
It's all been building to this in a way. Like, everything with Maul has been building to this, and, like, Ahsoka leaving.
Yeah.
And it all ties into this. And like we were saying earlier, it's just so fascinating to see Order 66 from a different perspective.
Yeah.
Instead of Anakin's murderous perspective. Or Kenobi falling off of a lizard thing.
That's fair. I don't know if it's probably the best.
I would say I
don't know if it's my favorite, though.
I don't know if it's my favorite either, but it is... If you combine everything, like, just the story, the score, the cinematography, the fights, everything put together makes it the best, but I don't know if it's quite my favorite.
Yeah, the Mortis arc holds a special place for me, but this is easily top 3 arcs. Hands down.
Oh, yeah.
Is this weird to say? I don't watch a lot of animated stuff, like, as an adult. Yes. As much as I actually do watch more now.
I was going to say, I feel like you watch more as an adult now because of us.
Yes, because of people I've met.
Yeah.
But, like, I've never seen animation so cinematic. Like, You know, is it just me, or is like I've never? This is the most cinematic I've ever seen it. Like,
yeah, I think it just comes to that you haven't seen too many like cinematic.
It just maybe because the scale and the epicness and like the stakes of it.
Yeah, I mean it's definitely extremely cinematic.
I don't feel like I've seen anything as cinematic.
Definitely a lot more than most animation.
Maybe Full Metal does it get really cinematic, or I don't know if it gets cinematic.
It depends on how. Though. Yeah, it depends on.
I'm talking about purely just like. I felt like I was watching Game of Thrones cinematic shit. Like you know what I mean? Like it felt like I don't know how to describe it other than cinematic.
The grandeur.
The grandeur.
Yeah, Full Metal is generally more smaller scale.
Yeah.
Until like the end, but yeah. I kind of get what you mean. I think it just mostly comes back to you haven't watched too much animation stuff.
Yeah.
But it's definitely...
It's easily the most cinematic animation I've ever seen.
I would say for me it probably is as well, yeah.
It's fucking gorgeous.
I'm sure there are plenty of examples of super cinematic animation other places, but...
And it's probably some nature documentary, you know? No.
Why would you animate a nature documentary?
I don't know. Ask Jon Favreau. He made The Lion King. Live action. That was a good one.
That was a good one.
But yeah.
Live.
Oh, Clone Wars,
that's a debate all on its own. If we had like a general podcast, just like what is the limit of animation? Like, why is The Lion King considered live action when it's all CG?
Yeah, we can talk about that on our podcast. We're gonna record later.
Yeah, that's like a Who Framed Roger Rabbit vibe, where it's like a bunch of animated characters with live action shit.
Talk about cinematic animation. Who Framed Roger Rabbit? Woo!
It's a lot like it's like the quote unquote live action Jungle Book. They have the live action kid, but then everything else is animated.
See, but that makes it live action.
Just because there's one live action character.
Yeah.
Okay.
But
yeah.
So.
Any closing questions, topics?
Clone Wars?
Yes.
Is the second best thing in Star Wars.
I would say it's the first.
And I think your second is my first.
Yes.
Star Wars Rebels. We'll just say Dave Filoni's a god. And
let's just say the best thing to happen to Star Wars is Dave Filoni.
He deserves all the happiness in the world and keep giving him all the money to make all the Star Wars. Hopefully he doesn't get bored.
But just, they're getting him to fix the Obi-Wan show, so now I have 100% faith. I was a little low-key worried when they were like, we have to rewrite the Obi-Wan show, but then they were like, we're getting Dave Filoni to help. I was like, sold.
Oh, do you know what was a big surprise about this episode? I was worried.
What?
Ahsoka lived.
I thought she was gonna die.
Who knows, man?
You never know.
You could have been like, she died and got revived again, but that would have been one too many revives.
That would have been a little much.
I low-key forget about the one revival a lot, though.
Yeah.
It was done very well with the whole Mortis arc and the Force and the...
The thing is that it happens in the same episode.
Yeah.
So it's not like...
she died. She was gone for like a whole season.
Yeah, it's not like that, which I like that a lot better. If you're gonna revive someone, do it like immediately.
See, that's why they only waited one episode to revive Jon Snow. Like he died in the finale, one episode, second episode, he's back.
That's
still probably too much though.
There's a bit of a gap between when the next season comes out, I'm sure.
Yes, in timeline, but in like the show timeline, two episodes.
Yeah, so when we watched it, like my first experience with it. Considering also that I had already knew that it happened.
Yeah, that was such a meme at that point.
Yeah.
But yeah, I may or may not have unplugged your laptop from the wall, but I don't think so.
No, it's plugged in.
Okay, but yeah. Any final thoughts, closing statements? I feel like we discovered a lot of the big topic stuff in the course of the show, but like...
If we think of anything else, we'll discuss it in a future podcast.
Weeks for sure, but... Yeah. You guys watch this show.
I want more Malway scenes.
Right. More Maul, just more Ahsoka.
I want more brutal Star Wars.
Right. More fucking just
give us hallways, dude. I don't know what it is. Star Wars hallways. Dope.
Right. Just give us the hallways, man.
Give us the hallways.
Ahsoka needs her hallway scene.
Yeah. We need a good guy hallway scene where they're just fucking shit up.
Or they're just fucking up people. Who are they fucking up though?
Stormtroopers, Stormy boys. Now what? I had a comment Clones. I was going to say earlier. Now watch Filoni somehow make an animated show that makes us care about stormtroopers.
That'd be big if true.
Big if true. I'm just saying, if there's anybody who can accomplish it.
Right. But I think that's it for this episode, Dan.
Yeah, I think so.
Overall, we love the final arc, love the finale. Sad it's over. I feel like...
It's always sad when something you love ends.
It's hard enough, because it feels like we're coming to the end of an era in Star Wars, with the Skywalker saga being over in this. And yeah, so hopefully the future is bright for Star Wars.
If not, we'll only have
because all we know, the future's not bright for us humans right now. You know what I'm saying? Yeah! You know what I'm saying? Until next time, everybody... Follow us on Twitter. Follow us on YouTube. We are the Powerful Thigh Guys, the Holoron-Cast. Check out our YouTube videos, our gaming shit. But, yeah, until next time, may the 4th be with you.
And also with you.
Always.